Have you ever met someone who instantly irritated you for no clear reason? Maybe their arrogance bothered you. Maybe their selfishness made your blood boil. Or perhaps their confidence felt offensive. But what if the reason they triggered you had nothing to do with them? What if the real source of your discomfort was hidden deep inside your own mind? Carl Jung believed that every human being carries a hidden side of their personality. A dark side. A side they refuse to acknowledge. He called it the shadow. The shadow is not a monster hiding under your bed. It is not an evil force controlling your actions. It is a collection of everything about yourself that you reject, deny, suppress, or refuse to see. Every emotion you label unacceptable. Every desire you consider shameful. Every trait you hide from the world. They do not disappear. They sink into the unconscious mind and become part of the shadow. From childhood, we learn which parts of ourselves are acceptable and which are not. A boy may be told that crying is weakness. A girl may be told that anger is unattractive. A child may learn that speaking up leads to punishment. Slowly, pieces of the authentic self are pushed away. Imagine a child who is naturally assertive and confident. If parents constantly criticize this behavior and call it selfish, the child learns to suppress confidence. Years later, that confidence becomes part of the shadow. The adult may appear humble and polite, but deep inside there is buried power waiting to be acknowledged. The shadow does not only contain negative qualities. This is one of Jung's most misunderstood ideas. Many people think the shadow is made entirely of darkness. But hidden within it are also positive traits, talents, creativity, courage, and potential. Anything rejected by consciousness becomes part of the shadow, whether good or bad. The problem is that what we refuse to see in ourselves often appears in other people. Jung called this projection. Projection happens when we unconsciously attribute our hidden qualities to others. The traits we cannot accept within ourselves become visible everywhere around us. The arrogant person annoys us because we secretly desire confidence. The liar angers us because we struggle with our own dishonesty. The selfish person triggers us because we deny our own selfish impulses. This is why emotional reactions can reveal more about us than about the people we judge. Think about the person you dislike the most. What qualities bother you? Are they arrogant? Manipulative? Lazy? Attention-seeking? Now ask yourself a difficult question. Could some part of that quality exist within you? Most people immediately say no. And that is exactly why the shadow remains hidden. The ego wants to believe it is good, moral, rational, and in control. The ego creates a story about who we are. But the shadow contains everything that does not fit that story. The more strongly we identify with being kind, the more likely we are to deny our capacity for cruelty. The more we identify with honesty, the more we ignore our moments of deception. The more we see ourselves as peaceful, the more we suppress our aggression. But suppressed emotions do not disappear. They wait. And eventually they find a way out. Sometimes they emerge through sudden anger. Sometimes through jealousy. Sometimes through self-sabotage. Sometimes through addiction. Sometimes through destructive relationships. A person who suppresses anger for years may suddenly explode over a minor inconvenience. The reaction seems irrational because the emotion has been building in the unconscious for decades. The shadow is like a pressure cooker. The more forcefully you push things down, the more pressure builds beneath the surface. This is why people often feel shocked by their own behavior. They say things like, "That wasn't me." But according to Jung, it was you. It was simply the part of you that you refused to recognize. Many people spend their entire lives running from the shadow. They create perfect public images. They carefully manage their reputation. They avoid uncomfortable truths. They convince themselves that they have no darkness inside. Yet the shadow grows stronger in secrecy. The less conscious it becomes, the more power it gains. History provides countless examples of this phenomenon. Some of the most destructive individuals appeared respectable on the surface. Their darkness remained hidden until it erupted in devastating ways. Jung warned that denying the shadow makes it dangerous. He famously said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Think about that for a moment. How many of your decisions are truly conscious? How many patterns repeat themselves again and again? How many relationships end the same way? How many fears continue controlling your choices? What if the hidden force behind these patterns is the shadow? The journey toward self-awareness begins when you stop blaming the outside world for everything that troubles you. Instead of asking, "Why are people like this?" you begin asking, "What is this situation revealing about me?" This question changes everything. Because every emotional trigger becomes an opportunity for growth. Every moment of jealousy points toward a hidden desire. Every burst of anger reveals a wounded part of the self. Every judgment becomes a mirror. The shadow communicates through emotions because emotions bypass the rational mind. They reveal truths that logic often hides. This process is uncomfortable. In fact, it can be terrifying. Most people would rather maintain the illusion of perfection than confront their hidden flaws. It is easier to point fingers than to look inward. But personal transformation requires courage. Real growth begins when you stop seeing yourself as either good or bad. You are both. You are capable of kindness and cruelty. Love and hatred. Generosity and selfishness. Compassion and aggression. The goal is not to eliminate darkness. The goal is to become aware of it. Because awareness reduces its power. A conscious shadow becomes a source of wisdom. An unconscious shadow becomes a source of destruction. Jung believed that integrating the shadow is one of the most important tasks of human development. Integration does not mean acting out every dark impulse. It means acknowledging its existence. When you recognize your aggression, you gain control over it. When you accept your fears, they lose their grip on you. When you confront your insecurities, they stop controlling your behavior from behind the scenes. The shadow transforms from an enemy into a teacher. And that is where true freedom begins.